I had the pleasure of meeting Bonnie through a mutual friend, Diane Walsworth, and I don't know where she is, but I want to thank Diane very much. Hi, Diane, for referring Bonnie to us, because she's a very, very talented writer, and it has been a pleasure to work with her and to work with such a meticulously crafted book. It is a publisher's dream to work with a writer like Bonnie. I mean, her writing style is absolutely beautiful and effortless and elegant. And thank you very much. As you all know, Bonnie is a retired nurse. I think some of her experience in nursing is evident in the book, and she must have been a tremendous nurse, is all I can say after having read this book several times. I would want her on my side in any hospital anywhere. And it is a difficult topic, handled extremely well and with such sensitivity and grace, actual grace. So I'm not going to go on and on. What I want to say is thank you very much for being here. We have more books for sale. So please feel free to buy some more books if you can at the end of the evening. I know Bonnie would be happy to sign. Canadian presses like ours, which are independent, autonomous presses, are few and far between surviving, so we really need your support, and certainly Canadian writers need our support. I have to say, I've never seen such a big audience at a book launch, and this is a testament to you, Bonnie. I mean, you must have a wonderful circle of friends and supporters, and so many people who bought more than one copy of a book. This is like, I'm in heaven. And people who have brought flowers. This is just wonderful. So congratulations, Bonnie. Enjoy tonight and many more nights of readings and launches to come.
Thank you, Luciana. This is, I am really thrilled to have all of you here this evening. This is actually overwhelming to look out at all of you. I had this sense before this event that it was a page with Venn diagrams that had very few interconnects, but from all the conversation tonight, I think there's a lot of connection happening. So anyway. I have notes. Ken suggested that I should be reading improv style. I'm not capable of that tonight. My brain is quite done. So I'm just going to read some notes and then read to you from a chapter in Autumn's Grace. Autumn's Grace started to take shape some time ago, back when the Liberals were in power in Ottawa, and Jean Chrétien was our Prime Minister, and when the Conservatives were in power at Queen's Park and Ernie Eves was our Premier. So that tells you how long this took. It did not happen quickly. When I started writing, I had no intention of writing a novel. My father had died, and I had experienced the healthcare system, not as a provider, but as the daughter of someone with a terminal illness. The writing, when it started, was a series of clinical observations on how we as healthcare professionals could conduct ourselves during a difficult time for an individual and the family. But the notes were dry. The audience would have been the professionals who read their journals, and quite frankly, that felt like preaching to the choir. They were not the people I wanted to reach. I decided my audience needed to be Joe and Jill Public, but there was a problem. How would I connect? Would I write a piece for Chatelaine magazine? Perhaps, but I just couldn't make it work. So I decided to tell a story, which became a couple of stories, which then became a series of linked short stories. I had developed characters and was telling the story of an illness through many characters' eyes. The day that one of the characters needed to speak was the day I almost stopped writing. I had no idea how to write dialogue. I had no idea how to move characters through physical space and time, so I stopped. I read, I took courses through Humber College, and then I resumed writing. When the story reached 730 pages, I admitted that I was no longer writing short stories. But the challenge of writing is not so much getting the words down on paper, it's the rewriting, it's the editing. Alistair MacLeod said many things that stuck with me from the week I was in his seminar class. The first was, and two were salient to the process of learning how to write fiction. The first was to kill off any character or any situation that did not advance the story. And so I did, and I got the story down to the volume you see here. The second was that writers write about that which worries them, and that comment validated my need to write. Palliative care and how we deliver it at home worries me. I've had firsthand experience with my father, and then a few years later with Ken's mother. In between those two times, and since then, I have talked with friends and neighbors about how we live and how we die, and more importantly, how we help people to live while they are dying. We have all agreed that the experience can be better. I say this as a nurse who has worked in the community and in the hospital. So Autumn's Grace is meant to start conversations, and if it can change how we deliver palliative care in Canadian homes, perhaps I will stop worrying and start writing about something else. So traditionally at a book launch like this, and I'm so aware that many of you are standing, are there some chairs for people who need them or want them, or are you okay? I'll keep this brief, okay? So one of the things I'll tell you in the writing process is that it's, you know when you read a book and you see a break in the page, that signals maybe a scene change or something like that, or a change in time. I'm going to be reading and come to a break in the page, and I think I'll say scene change too, okay? I'm going to introduce you to two characters, Max, who is a rural veterinarian, and his wife, or his daughter, Jessie.